Okay, welcome back. So today I'm going to start things off with a very quick admission here. I know absolutely nothing about the anime series the game I'm reviewing today is based on. Now, just a little bit of history here. I first became aware of the Fate series when I saw a game centered around it on the PSP. It was a role-playing strategy game, it looked like. I considered picking it up on a sale, but never did, never had a chance to get back to it. And a few years later, I heard of a Dynasty Warriors slash Musou clone called Fate, the Umbral Star, for the PS4 and Vita. Now, as you know from my Dynasty Warriors movie review, and a link is in the description if you haven't seen it, I'm a huge Dynasty Warriors and Musou fan. So I checked out the trailer, I liked what I saw, and went to pick up the game. Now, Umbral Star, it wasn't what I expected. I never could make sense of the story. I don't know whether it's that the lore is just too dense and you really need the background of the anime, if the games themselves are poorly translated, or if the lore really is that convoluted. I'm just saying that for the Fate fans, I'm not bashing the lore, the background, or the history of the series. I'm just saying that in the game itself, I never could make sense of the story there. Now, that's okay, since I'm of the opinion that a good game doesn't need a great or adequate or even coherent story. It just needs to be fun to play. And was Umbral Star fun? Yeah, ish. Okay, so it definitely lived up to its reputation of being an anime-styled Musou clone. There were thousands of enemies to mow down and awesome anime special attacks to pull off, and they all looked gorgeous. I liked the perspective of the three main waifu characters, but the gameplay wasn't limited since you only played as those three during the main story modes, and only in their particular chapters. This was a bit of a letdown for me since the appeal of a Dynasty Warriors game is the dozens of characters you get to play as and choose from, and their fighting styles. So throughout the game you get to find your favorites, whereas with Umbral Star, you only had the three throughout the main story. You did have other characters, but they were isolated to individual side stories, so they didn't really have any impact on the main game proper, which was fun, just limited. After I beat the story mode, I traded the game in and never really looked back. So that little history lesson brings us today to Umbral Star's sequel, FateExtella Link. And right off the bat, just let me say that this game rectifies the biggest complaint I had about Umbral Star. You can now play as any character at any time, and this is great because you got a huge cast of interesting and likable characters with some really wild anime style designs and numerous over the top flashy attacks. And just like the first, all these characters are drawn from world history, mythology, and I find it awesome. There's an anime Lu Bu in here. Now, the story, well, it's the same as the first, and I'm just going to leave it to the fans of the anime to determine if this is status quo, and you just need to know the lore from the anime to appreciate the story in these games, if there's translation issues, or if the story in the Fate series really is just that out there. And it may irk some gamers that you are cast the roleplay as a Dragon Quest style mute hero, lord of all these servants, and yet don't really do much of anything in the game save for choosing the mission routes and selecting who will do battle and mow down thousands of malicious programs this time. It's also worth mentioning, however, that you are often talked about as some grand central figure in the story. The male servants, they want to be like you. The women just want you. It's neither here nor there for me. Other gamers may find this anime style fan service to be a plus or negative, but personally, I think it's neither here nor there, and the characters are really well written, so and very likable. There are three big draws to this game. The clear inspiration from the Dynasty Warriors games, with just a far more extreme anime aesthetic. It's flashy attack animations and controls that let you sow all kind of chaos on the battlefields. And as I mentioned before, the cast of characters, and while they come off as generic most of the time, and I can't think of a single woman that doesn't become thirsty for my male character, they are still energetic and amusing. You want to raise the levels of their bonds with your characters just to see the goofy things they're going to say next. Needless to say, you're gonna have your favorites throughout the game based on personality and fighting style, and that's really part of the draw of Dynasty Warriors. That's part of the draw here, so that's a plus. Now, the anime look of all these characters is great. I love the designs. They all look very sharp and high res. The special attacks are all crazy over the top. They could even teach Dynasty Warriors a thing or two. The movesets are all slick and well animated. It's a very good looking game from the word go. If there's one bad thing I can say about the game's look, it's the little concept. Chibi renditions of your characters that appear in the gameplay engine. You can select to have your characters take on this appearance. You can even go into battle with your chibi characters, but they just look more frightening than cute. I mean, seriously, dude, run! No, bro, she's gaining on you. Bro, no, do not look back. No, come on, bro, no, do not look back. Just run. As for the soundtrack, I really can't say anything overly positive or negative. It does what it's there to do. It conveys all the emotion it sets out to convey, and the intro cinematic, it's very energizing. It gets you ready to play. I should mention there's no English dub, but the Seiyu cast, as usual, they all do a very bang-up job. FateExtella Link is a game that's extremely simple and easy to review. Now, while the story goes clear over my head, that's okay because I'm here because I love the Musou formula. The game does it a lot of justice. It's hectic, fast-paced, lovable, and flashy. So if you're a gamer looking for a very fun action game or a fan of the Dynasty Warriors series and you're looking for another 1,000 to mow down, this is a great anime-flavored alternative that I would place up there with Berserk, Band of the Hawk, Fist of the North Star, the Omega Force version of the game, and Pirate Warriors 4. The game gets a solid 9 out of 10 from me.